What's up everyone, it's Nick, and wow, this is quite an unprecedented NBA video for me to make. I must say that this is a very difficult video to script because while I do have very strong opinions about the vaccine, I thought I'm better off not saying them directly. I'll just tell you this though, I'm fully vaccinated, that's all I'll tell you. I'm just not interested in dealing with the bloodbath that could potentially come in the comment section about the vaccine debate. It's already toxic enough, so I'd really like to focus more on the basketball side of things and also about Kyrie Irving outside of his vaccination status. In fact, I don't think Kyrie is a horrible person. What I actually think he is, besides a very talented basketball player, yeah, I don't think I should say it. Well, this is the same guy that said the earth is flat, but again, don't want to get into the vaccine debate. I do want to emphasize though that he is not a bad person, at least in my eyes, given all the philanthropic work that he has done over the years. In fact, last year when Kendrick Perkins called him a distractor in regards to Kyrie's comments about whether the NBA season should continue or not, I was very much on Kyrie's side and I was mad at Kendrick Perkins. In fact, he's not anti-vax, just to be clear. He said he wants to give the voiceless a voice, to take a stand for those losing their jobs over their beliefs about the vaccine, which, yeah, it kind of does sound crazy, but also I'll respect his decision for it, which, okay, move on. Yes, he is on a team sport and his actions are hurting the team, but do you really think all the philanthropic work that he's done, which is quite a lot, all for himself? I don't think he would do all that just for himself. But not getting vaccinated. Yeah, I have my opinion, like I said, but I'll leave it at that. Those who know me though, you already know my opinion, but okay. My audience is aware of the vaccine mandates in New York, right? How you cannot enter public facilities without proof of vaccination. Whether that is right or wrong, that's for you to decide. Again, that's another thing I have an opinion on. I won't say it though. But because of this mandate, which is not an NBA rule by the way, Kyrie Irving is not allowed to play home games for the Brooklyn Nets. Oh yeah, before I continue, if you want to consider leaving a like, that'd be much appreciated. It helps the video out more than you know. If you want to, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads, that'd be much appreciated. And if you follow me on social media, links down below, I'll follow you back. So, moving on with the topic now. Initially, it was going to be that Kyrie would only play road games outside of when they play the Warriors in the Bay Area, and I'm pretty sure when they play the Raptors in Toronto as well. I do know with Toronto, they will lock him up if he's out and about without a vaccine up there. The New York mandate though, yes, this is a New York State rule, it's not an NBA rule. So the Nets decided that until Kyrie can be a full participant for them, not just a part-time, a full-time participant, they're not going to have him play at all. They want guys to be all in. They don't want guys that are only going to be partially in. I don't know if partially in is actually a term, but you know what I mean, right? Since he's not allowed to play home games. And regardless of what you think about the vaccine or not, I feel like that is the right move. And there are actually basketball reasons for why that would be the right move, not just how you feel about the vaccine. Even as good of a player as Kyrie is, for him to only play road games, that makes coaching and developing chemistry more difficult. To have Kyrie as a part-time player and then having to always make separate game plans for home versus away games, yes, that's going to be very difficult. Yes, we know about Kyrie's injury history, so vaccinated or not, he would inevitably miss games anyways. Not something I wish on him, just something that we've already known about him for years. For him to only be a part-time player, this could especially have an effect on James Harden. He'll be their primary playmaker with or without Kyrie, but it could also have an effect on James Harden's rhythm when having to be more of a scorer. If Kyrie doesn't play at all though, then it is what it is. Perhaps James Harden can be somewhat reminiscent of what he was in Houston. Maybe not completely because there is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant will get his shots too. But James Harden will probably be a little closer to what he was in Houston than what he was last season for the Nets. This was their year though to really develop chemistry, as the big three have only played 7 games together so far. And it has to be a vaccine mandate that has to stop them from really building chemistry together with an actual training camp in preseason. At least Kevin Durant and James Harden have played together 9 years ago, but that was before James Harden became a perennial all-star and MVP candidate. About how the players responded, I did see that KD said, what's being mad at him going to do? It obviously won't change his mind. So obviously, he's irritated by the media. I'm not so sure about with Kyrie. Maybe he is. In fact, I kind of do assume he is, since Kyrie's not exactly on the same page as the rest of the team. James Harden did say that the Nets as a team love him and have his back, although he also said that he hasn't talked to Kyrie. I do think they're at least doing good, not throwing him under the bus. However, I think you could tell that they're not happy with having to be asked these questions, or to be having to put up with this drama. This is New York media though. They don't care about your feelings. And I can already see if Kyrie was vaccinated, this wouldn't be an issue comments coming. Once again, you probably know where I stand on this, but once again, I will keep that to myself. Stephen A. Smith even went as far as to say that Kobe Bryant would not approve of this. And as many of you know, Kyrie and Kobe were very close. In fact, Kyrie FaceTimed with Kobe when the Cavs won the 2016 championship. I do think I have an idea of what Kobe would think because I followed his career so closely. It almost felt like I actually did know him very well as a person, even though I unfortunately never did meet him or ever speak to him. However, we really can't speak on the behalf of somebody who passed away. I know Kyrie went on Instagram Live. He disproved any rumors of retiring because of the vaccine mandate. At least he's saying that he's not going to retire because of that. I would definitely hate to see that, since he's still very much in his prime. He's not even 30 years old yet. He just had a career year. Kyrie just isn't very predictable though. Since we don't know if he really will play for the Nets this year, yeah, it's very possible that the Nets do look to trade him. His trade value certainly isn't going up, even though he just had a career year statistically. Regardless of what you think or what I think, there are definitely going to be GMs out there that will look at him as selfish based on how he's going about this situation. MJ2K did make a valid point. Yes, what Stephen A. Smith said was something he pointed out as well, and I agree with that. But also another thing that he pointed out, if Kyrie does have other interests now, he should be allowed to pursue them. He may be in his physical prime for basketball. However, if basketball isn't really on his mind anymore, then just like the vaccine, he shouldn't be forced to play. Just don't take money from the team when you're not playing. About how the Nets front office has gone about this though, Mojo99 made a great point how Sean Marks was prepared for this. He made backup plans and got Patty Mills and drafted Cam Thomas, knowing the possibility of Kyrie not playing because of his vaccination status. Well, I don't know how much he really knew, but at least he had a plan. Now, of course, neither Cam Thomas or Patty Mills will even remotely make up for the production that they will miss from Kyrie. However, as long as they are serviceable, that should be good enough. As long as James Harden and Kevin Durant are healthy. That's something that the Nets definitely better hope for to still be in title contention. With just Kevin Durant and James Harden, the Nets are still title contenders. That's how scary they are on paper. Kyrie just makes them even scarier. Even without Kyrie, you still have two of the best shot creators of this generation, or even in league history. They were already a damn good team with just KD and Kyrie. It very likely will be the same with KD and Harden. Then you have Joe Harris as your third option. He should be fine as that during the regular season. However, he was awful during the playoffs last year, so I think that they'd still rather have Kyrie back. With or without Kyrie though, their depth chart definitely isn't too bad though. Something that we were worried about at the time of the James Harden trade, but I think that the Nets have solved that issue for the most part. It's still defense that's likely going to stop them from winning a championship regardless of if Kyrie plays or not. If there's anything at all that will stop the Nets. No matter what though. Yeah, as long as James Harden and Kevin Durant are healthy, we can expect the Nets to win a lot of regular season games. They will be a top 3 seed, even if Kyrie doesn't play a single game this year. How far can they get in the playoffs without Kyrie is definitely a question mark. How far they can get with him isn't something we already know for a fact either, but we definitely know for sure that they look a lot better with Kyrie. It sure would be huge for KD and James Harden's legacies, though, if they're able to win a championship without Kyrie. Although, no, it would not put them ahead of Kobe, you Gen Z bots. Probably not even ahead of Dwayne Wade. At least for James Harden, most certainly not. Kevin Durant, I might actually give that a thought. But James Harden is definitely not better than Kobe or Dwayne Wade, with or without this championship, regardless of if Kyrie is there for the championship or not. Although, it definitely will help his legacy. Even with that said, though, I think that they would still rather have Kyrie back than not. With or without Kyrie, though, they definitely have some competitors in the Eastern Conference. The Miami Heat, we can definitely expect them to be right back in the mix now that they've had a full offseason. They got Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker. If Victor Oladipo is healthy, that should give them a boost as well. The Bucks are still the defending champions. That could definitely boost their confidence. And hey, I did see that Giannis's jump shot is actually looking pretty good, at least from the footage I saw. People are sleeping on the Celtics. I wouldn't though. The Knicks got better, but I'll be honest, they're still not better than the Nets, whether Kyrie plays or not. There's also the Bulls. So yeah, we expect the Nets to contend no matter what, but they just rather have Kyrie full time than not have him at all. But we also know that either he's full time or not playing at all. There is something that Kyrie can do about that, but we'll let him decide for himself. Let's please not have a bloodbath in the comments over this. Maybe New York does lift the mandate. We don't know. I don't really expect it, but hey, I can't predict the future. If the Nets were to trade him, and whoever he does get traded to, what if their state picks up that same exact mandate? Imagine that. I'm not usually one to play GM because that's not my job, and if I were able to be good at that, I'd be a GM, not some guy on YouTube. But one thing that I think definitely could work fit-wise is if he gets traded to the Sixers for Ben Simmons. Obviously, other pieces will be involved as well, although Kyrie definitely fits better with Joel Embiid, while Simmons gives the Nets some much-needed defense, and he has 2 elite shot creators to distribute the ball to in Kevin Durant and James Harden. Maybe Kyrie gets traded to the Rockets or Spurs. There he could lead his own team, although I've never been a believer that Kyrie actually can do that. The state of Texas also will allow him to play all his home games. Vaccinated or not though, it's very unlikely that he actually does play all 82 games, as that's something that he's never done before in his career. We all know his injury history. Any other trades you want to suggest, you can feel free to drop that in the comments, rather than having this vaccine debate, which I'm getting quite a headache from myself. I'll definitely be willing to look at your trade suggestions. I'll tell you what I think of them. So we all know that Kyrie is enigmatic. He's always been unpredictable. So whether he does get the vaccine or not, this is very hard to predict. There is a chance he does give in like Andrew Wiggins, or he doesn't play and the Nets are at least fine in the regular season. Nothing against Kyrie's ability, just goes to show how stacked the Nets are even without him. They're the New York team with the most hope at the moment, unless I'm missing anything about hockey. The Yankees are trending downward. Yes, they're a very talented team, they're just severely mismanaged. The Mets once again missed the playoffs. The Giants and Jets are both a hot mess. Basketball is the sport where New York sports actually does have hope. They'd certainly have a lot more hope if Kyrie can actually play for them. If he's really selfish or not, like I said in the beginning of the video, you can't say he is for his philanthropic work. But in terms of being a team player, I just won't comment on that. It's not his first time ever not being there for his team though, when his team needed him the most. But to be fair about what happened against the Bucks when he was with the Celtics in 2019, he did lose his grandfather who was very close with him. And when you lose a family member you're that close with, you won't be 100% right in the head. This situation though, no family members is being lost as far as I'm concerned. Just an off-the-court decision that could potentially hold this team back, and it's not even because of an NBA rule. Kyrie may not be getting that extension that the Nets were once considering giving him, that they're now not going to give him, but he's already set for life anyways. Yes, it'd be unfortunate if his career ended prematurely, especially coming off a career year. He said he won't retire, but if his mind isn't on basketball, he should be allowed to walk away from it. Just, once again, don't take money from the team if you're not going to play. Not only is he set for life financially, unless he's really bad at handling his money, he also already accomplished quite a lot in the NBA as a 7-time All-Star, and having won a championship, you'd definitely like to see him be there for guys like James Harden, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap, guys that this could be their only chance to ever win a ring. But what should the Nets do about this? I feel like the best thing to do may be to trade him, even though his value may be down right now. At least you're not giving him up for nothing if the mandate stays the way it is, or if he just chooses to not get vaccinated. If he does get vaccinated though, then you're lucky to have him back. If Kyrie wants to help the Nets win a championship this year, then it's probably in his best interest to get vaccinated, especially if he's not even anti-vax. But again, we can't make his decisions for him. He's a grown man, he can make his own decisions. That'll do it for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you can please consider dropping a like, that would be much appreciated, especially because the scripting of this video was so difficult as I had to refrain from saying plenty of things that I really feel strongly about. Perhaps I did hint at some of those thoughts, but I really had to hold back on them. If you want to subscribe for more sports content, whether it's NBA, MLB, or NFL, that'd be much appreciated as well. Follow me on social media, I'll follow you back. And I'm not that far off from 1,000 subscribers. When I get there, I will start doing giveaways if you want to be around for that. So, for the comments, again, this is probably going to fly over some people's heads, but I just have to say it anyways. Please refrain from the vaccine debate. I just don't want to deal with the headache from this anymore, okay? Whether you get vaccinated or not, that's entirely up to you. Just like I said before, I had it done. I'm doing fine. Let's keep this comment section more about basketball instead of the vaccine debate. Alright? I'd love to hear from you guys. Just please, let's not get political on here. Yes, some of you have heard my political beliefs before. However, this is when I just do not want to put up with it. So, alright. If you're still here, thank you so much. Also, if you want to click either of these on the end screen, that'd be much appreciated as well. That also helps out a ton. Alright, so, hope you guys have a great day. Peace.